You know, I've never been in a fight in my life.
You're an Emirati, you represent UAE.
Yeah.
Why you're not wearing kandora more often?
Yeah, we went really deep today, huh?
Second wife.
Good, we got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Grateful for my ego and
You're apologizing to yourself.
working at my barbershop, employees I've had for 13 and 15 years betraying me.
So when was the last time you really cried from your heart?
Forget about the show because you saw 5 minutes of it.
يا أهلاً وسهلاً. اشترك في القناة لأن غير الفيديوهات الخاصة بالحلقات حتوصلك فيديوهات ثانية، وأنا أكد لك مع كل فيديو بتشوفه سواء لقاء أو فيديو خاص بتطور شيء في نفسك. فاشترك في القناة وفعل زر التنبيه. Hi Marwan.
What's going on, bro? Thank you for having me here today.
You're more than welcome. Good thing that you don't know anything about the show.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Yalla. Okay.
Because I spend a lot of time off of social media now. And as much as I want to go sometimes to watch certain things, it's like basketball. I love watching basketball.
Interesting.
But if I don't go to the app and hide the scores, and something is going to drag you in, a TikTok video, a forward, or WhatsApp. So
It's for my own benefit, trust me.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people, when they watch the show, they're expecting, they're thinking of what they want to say.
Yeah.
I don't want you to think before saying anything. Just
Yeah,
be
that's good.
yourself, be
I like-
genuine.
And also people come to me a lot of times, a lot of my good friends, they say, yo, by the way, bro, I've never watched Dubai Bling. I'm like, it's totally fine. Like, it's still,
You don't have to.
yeah, it's
It's not a must.
It's all okay.
It doesn't come in the friendship manual. Watch Dubai
Yeah.
Bling. I'm on it.
Good, we got that out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, we always start with 3 deep breaths, but you have to inhale from your stomach
Yeah.
and exhale from your mouth.
Okay, I love
Try
this.
to connect with yourself and put the intention of being honest
Yeah.
and real.
Eyes closed.
Yes.
Ready.
Welcome back. Now get the box, open it.
This one here.
Yes.
Wow, we got gifts on the show too.
No, it's an essential oil.
Oh wow.
Choose anyone. Don't think.
Oh,
Just
don't
choose.
think?
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
All right, this is what I got. شو البر?
It's bergamot.
I've
Oh,
never
that's
heard about that before.
It's
Bergamot?
Yeah. It's actually one of the main ingredients for so many perfumes.
Oh, really?
You might know it. Just put something in your, put some in your hand. Yeah.
Mm.
So I need you now to close your eyes, connect with the smell, and allow the scent to take you to a childhood memory
Okay.
between 1 and 7 years old. Just trust your unconscious mind and let me know where are you, who are you with, what are you doing right now.
It took me to Al Ghurair Center,
Wow.
a place called Sindbad. And I used to go there as a kid a lot. And I remember there was this game, like you used to pick up
You can open your eyes, it's fine.
big gun.
Yeah.
And you used to shoot these, like the chicken, and the guy used to come down and spill water on you.
Trust me, I know what you're talking about.
You know?
Of course I know. Sindbad.
Classic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was with you on the scene?
So my dad used to own a shop in Al Ghurair back in the days called Bambino.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you're old school Dubai, like the shop that used to sell trolls, and back in the days, the Smurfs. So
Oh, that's so true.
that was my dad's shop. So because he had a
Wow.
shop there and we lived like close by, so we'd go there all the time. So we'd hang out. So I was always like, you know,
Man,
in
you're
the
an
mall.
OG, yeah?
OG, yeah. I was super young. My brothers were a little older. They used to go play all the games, and I couldn't play all the games. And I used to watch them, like.
Interesting.
And then
Wait, are you older or younger than Rashid and
I'm
other
the
brother?
middle child. So Mohammed and Rashid are older than me, and then I
Oh,
have a
wow.
younger brother Ihsan and my youngest sister Sahar.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I always thought you were older than them.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone thinks I'm like so much younger than them.
Ah, okay.
In attitude.
Cool.
In attitude.
How did you live your childhood? Were you the naughty boy, the nerd, the smart one?
I wasn't the nerd. I wasn't the smart one. I was a little naughty, but I wasn't like a big troublemaker for, you know, based on what I was seeing around me, you know, with the shabab and all that. They
Yeah.
were like very naughty. I
Not
was
a
like,
gangster.
yeah. I like to say I was street smart.
Okay, street smart.
Street smart, but You know, I'm not gonna lie, I struggled academically. I definitely struggled, but because I was so close with all the teachers and I was very present in school, so it really helped me get through those days. And then I always say like my DJ story. I was never really part of like the cool kids in school either, who used to throw the parties and they used to organize the parties. I wouldn't get invited to a lot of the parties.
So were you a bully or you got bullied?
No, I wasn't a bully and I didn't get bullied.
Nothing.
You know? No, I was kind of like
nice.
You know, I wasn't friends with the bullies. I never saw any bullying where, I felt like I had to jump in and say, I kind of like, yeah, it's a good question. I kind of feel like I was, just doing my own thing.
Interesting.
And there was like different groups of friends. Because, back in school days, everyone had like a best friend or a crew or something. And I wasn't really like part of any of them. But I would hang out with different crews and groups and friends like at different times.
So we were like the guy next door.
Yeah, the middle child.
Middle child. I'm the middle child, but I didn't live the same life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was different for you?
It was different, yeah. I mean, I was a popular person since 1997. I started TV, so I was
doing media early, right?
Yeah, that's why. Even when I was in school, I was like, yeah, it was fine. It was fine, yeah. But when I go back in memories, I had good, bad days.
Yeah. And what about at home? Did you feel like... I mean, the main reason why I'm asking is because when my middle child was because all of us are like 3 years apart, except for me and my elder brother, we had 5 years between us.
Oh.
So my 2 elder brothers were very close, as they always have been. And my younger brother and sister were very close in age, so they were kind of like together as well. But I also got the benefit to hang out with the little ones when I needed to, and also hang out with the older ones when I needed to as well.
But I was friends of all my brothers and sisters, all my siblings, but I had no best friend home. Like, I'm not close to anyone, but everybody's my friend. Something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you had to put them in order, could you?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
How many are there at home?
We're 11. We're a big family. Wait.
Mashallah, 11?
I know that you were a TV presenter. I'm interviewing you, not you. Okay? Wait, we're not switching.
Smell this diffuser here.
Okay, what about university? Did you study university?
I went to university here in Dubai as well. And I studied computers, business information technology.
Interesting.
I went to a place called Dubai Polytechnic back in those days.
Yeah,
and I think that was called, they changed the name to University of Dubai.
University of Dubai, that's true.
So yeah, I graduated in business information technology, but kind of almost as soon as I finished studying, I immediately went into radio. That was my first thing. I was DJing a little bit first, and then went into radio for a few years, and then from radio went into TV, and that was the progression.
How did you start the DJ career, if I ask?
Honestly, I wasn't getting invited to the parties in school. True story.
That's so creative.
I was like, I had to organize my own parties. I had to learn how to DJ. I had to find my own music. I was doing a little bit. I had a real passion for music and radio. I was in a band first. My brother taught me how to play the guitar. So there was,
Nice.
I was doing that a little bit, but a band was very difficult. Every time we had to go somewhere and play, it was like, you need a room this size, drums, guitars, and all of that. And then got interested in radio. I was doing my school radio for a while. Started DJing a little bit. Got my first gig right straight after school. And yeah, it was really the start of it. I didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm not getting invited to the parties. I want to be a DJ. But there was definitely a connection over there. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then my interest really went towards it. And I loved it. There was something there for me that...
So it happened naturally. In your unconscious, you wanted to be something. So it just happened.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then I just always wanted more. I'm like from the DJing, like I can go play at a better place, go to another country. If I do radio, then it can make my, name bigger. If I did TV as well, I can be like a big media personality. And always some way or form, I'm always thinking about DJ.Bliss and how this brand can, really excel. Even though the TV days when I was on TV, it was a little difficult because I was using my own name. So there was a show I did which was about the local culture. I had to wear like Kandora during the whole filming of it. It was very different. But I also did entertainment shows which complemented it. Yet still, I would be like suit and tie for the TV show. I'd be hosting like award ceremonies in front of like, the royal families or big events and award ceremonies in Kandora. And then I was also DJing. So it was kind of difficult to navigate, but honestly, it was always just, I wanted to push myself to go to further places. And, always I saw DJs and artists being flown in here. I'm like, I want to be the one that gets flown out of here. And I'm playing everyone's music. What if somebody else played my music? Wouldn't it be so cool?
Nice.
And it was always that mentality to move forward. And now, all this time later, like I'm back to the same thing, kind of like taking a step back from doing a lot of the other things and focusing a lot more on music. Even to a certain degree, Dubai Bling, if you watch it, like on every season, I'm talking about, making music, doing a concert and pushing the boundaries for music. It's really like my true passion.
Nice. Let me take you back to the Kandora thing. Like when you're presenting wearing Kandora or presenting wearing a tuxedo or even casual as you are now, where do you find yourself more?
This is me.
This is you.
Yeah.
But why? Because some people may ask, like, you're an Emirati, you represent UAE.
Yeah.
Why you're not wearing Kandora more often? Because even you cater to a different audience, international audience, let me say, and they love the Kandora. They find it so sexy, authentic, and it's just wild.
Unique,
it's different,
right?
unique. It's really unique. Yeah.
I think one of the main reasons is because of the work that I do, because I DJ and a lot of places where I DJ, I can't be wearing it. And sometimes like even when I'm doing shows outside and concerts, I always ask, I ask my friends around me because, it's a cultural thing. And like for me, it was very important to respect the culture.
Nice.
And keep that in mind in whatever I do. And, whenever I ask my friends or like, the circle, they're like, what do you think I was DJing on National Day at a concert and Faiz Saeed was also performing. I said, what if I DJ'd in a Kandora? And they're like, oh, I don't know. It's a tricky situation to be in because I'm still DJing. I'm like, yeah, but what about like when these artists like Faiz Saeed or Hussein Jasmi are singing, they're wearing it. So it's a little sensitive in terms of whether I could wear it in those situations. And in a lot of places I cannot wear it because it wouldn't be respectful. So it starts over there. And then, and I wear it when I need to wear it. If I'm going to a special occasion, if it's Eid, if I'm going to the mosque, if we're going to a wedding or anything like that, I wear it when I need to wear it. If I'm going to do anything like official, but in general, comfort moving around and what I do, it's a lot easier for me to be like this, and it's how I feel comfortable as well. And I think it depends on what work you do and what lifestyle you live as well.
Yeah, true.
But there's no, I don't know. I mean, there's no set rules on how and when and where and why, but we do also have some guidelines, as you know, like in the country in terms of how it
dress
goes.
code.
It's a very unique outfit if you think about it, because it's not, you cannot compare it to a suit.
True.
Because it's something that's, it's more than just a suit. It's a formal wear, yet it's also the national
so true
wear.
And even we've never seen a DJ wearing a tuxedo, for example. I've never seen it at that game.
Maybe there's been for New Year's, but
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about love.
Yeah. Love is in the air.
Love is there. Is it still there?
I can smell it through this. What was it called again?
Bergamot.
It's so nice. I like it.
Thank you. When and where and how did you meet Dania, and was she your first love?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say she's my first love because we got married and we had kids. We met about 11 years ago through some mutual friends. And, when we spoke, we had a lot of things in common, like culturally and just, when you meet someone, you speak to each other just like on the same wavelength. And then our backgrounds were very similar as well. And then we went the official way, our moms spoke and we visited each other and did everything in that way.
That's not enough. I want to know more.
I mean, the look on your face, like, what else?
That's so generic. How did you meet her? What was the first impression? When did you say that, yeah, I'm in love with this woman. She's my wife. She's going to be my wife. She is the one.
Honestly, pretty quick, I knew right away.
Nice.
Like I said, you meet a lot of people in your life. I'm not talking about just girls. I'm talking about just in general people. And sometimes you just either you click and you understand each other, or sometimes you just don't. And with her, it was like, you know, laughing at the same jokes, you know, liking the same food. Once our families got to know each other, we realized we're very similar culturally in our background, and our families were able to get along, which is also a very important part of our culture as well.
Nice.
So all of those things, I mean, so we met each other the non-conventional way, but we went about it the very conventional way. And along both ways, everything was just, you know, feeling right and going the right way. And we took our time with it as well. You know, after we met and our parents spoke, I think another year or two until we got married.
Nice. You still remember the wedding? Or
Yeah, I do.
what was the favorite part of the wedding?
Honestly, when it was over, it was really hectic. We had a big wedding, and at the time it seemed like a great idea. And we had like a huge reception for the guys. Then we had this massive reception for the women.
Of
And then we
course.
wanted to also do something like non-traditional. So we had this like walking down the aisle thing, which we started in the day. We came outside, full clouds outside. It started dripping when we came out to our ceremony. We had to take the ceremony of walking down the aisle inside the hotel. But it was fun. I remember it. I remember the buggy driving us to the altar because it was too rainy. Everyone's sitting
Oh,
outside.
nice.
So that was the first part of it. And then from there, it just got better. You know, then the women went to their wedding. The guys did their part. I showed up at the women's wedding at the end. It was a
Oh, so
long day.
you did like a traditional wedding. Right?
Full. Yeah,
full
we went
traditional.
full
That's
on.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
There was a lot of people. Like, you know, whenever I give anyone advice about like weddings, I always say like, you don't really need to invite people if you don't know them by name.
You can't say this to an Emirati, by the way. You can't say, because
If you don't,
everyone is invited.
if you don't know them by name, you don't need to invite them.
Interesting.
I
Marwan,
could have saved myself like 400 people.
that's so true. And you could have saved more money as well.
I think, you know what, if in a situation like that, if you'd taken like a closer group of people and had a destination wedding or a more intimate wedding and have time to really just take it on, because putting a big wedding together for someone like me, especially, like I want to be involved in everything. I want to know what the kosher looks like, and I want to know what the flowers are, and obviously the music.
Who's the DJ?
The music has to be perfect. I need a song list. And
Yeah, but I love our weddings. I mean, I like both. To
They're
be very
good to
honest.
attend.
Yeah.
But organizing is a little tough. But luckily, there is like
It
wedding
takes
planners.
a village, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Food tastings and cake tastings and so many things. But it's a fun journey. I wouldn't say don't do it. I would just say like, just make it in a simple way where you can really enjoy it yourself, because it's a very special day. It's the first day of the rest of your lives, you know?
Nice. When would, I would say, the cage of marriage hit a person like, damn, I am engaged now. I'm inside the cage of marriage, or like this sacred, let's
You mean
say,
the hard part of it?
I'm not gonna say the hard part, but when did the marriage hit you? When did reality hit you? After a few years, after a few months?
It kind of hits you right away, honestly. If you think about it, like you're living by yourself in your room, right? So you're just living for yourself. Your bathroom, your one toothbrush is there. When you order from the delivery places, you order for one person. When you're shopping for yourself. You eat when you want. You go home when you want. You leave when you want. Then suddenly it's like you have to take care of somebody else. Well, you don't take care of each other, really.
Mhm.
So really, overnight, it's a completely different story. And it's difficult. I'd say the first couple of years are probably the hardest. And, you know, once you get past that, it gets a lot easier, because it takes time to get used to anything. Like anything that you do, when you learn a new sport, you don't become an expert at it overnight. It takes time, you know, and you have to practice and be patient and get through it. And once you get over the hurdle, like, I think it becomes a lot easier after that.
Mhm. How do you sustain your marriage?
I mean, I've been lucky to have been able to find the partner that I can communicate with. And, you know, it's been very easy in terms of how we met and our families being close to each other and having a good support system as well. You know, comes from a four-person siblings. I think she got 3 siblings, 4 altogether, and we're 5. You know, and our parents are both around and living here in the UAE. So, you know, we have our family's support as well. We have our kids, which is always a blessing too. Again, same thing with kids. It's a little hard at the beginning, but then it becomes like part of your life. And, we've been through a lot of ups and downs together. And the important thing is to communicate and move on from it, because the reality is that everyone falls out, everyone has issues, or everyone fights, even friends. But it's not about whether you do that or not. It's about how you deal with it and how you move on from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the most important thing is like respect for each other. When you have respect for each other, you just have a different attitude towards anything.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as that respect is there, I think that's what keeps you grounded always, I would say.
That's so nice. When the producers casted you for Dubai Bling,
Yeah.
how did you get the idea? Did you accept it from the beginning, or you had, your own thoughts like, am I really going to do this? Do I want to expose my personal life? Do I want to go public with my wife to that extent? What thoughts you had in mind?
At first, I thought it wasn't not real. They sent me an email. I'm like, I ignored the first email. I'm like, I get these emails all the time. It said that for a special show and a reality show, you've been casted, and I was like, whatever. So then they contacted me again, and they, once I got on the phone and talked to them, and when I start getting real, when they actually get to the point of the contract, and we've had a couple of meetings, I did think about it. I'm like, this. It's a risky situation going into a show where you have no control over what comes out, especially someone like me, like I've built my whole career over here. I immediately saw it as, wow, this is something, what I told you earlier, this is something that can really help me, push the boundaries. I make music, and I DJ, and I perform. And the more people, hear my music, the better for me. So that's what I thought about it at first. But then, of course, the next thing that came was, the family, the reality of it, and the topics that we would discuss and all that would happen. But luckily, I felt safe, and I felt comfortable going into it, because I was like, I'm just going to go there and be myself. And if you do watch the show, you see that I'm really very honest and very I don't go there and try and be somebody else. I'm trying to be as authentic and as me as I can. The only thing that you see, maybe, some people say it's like, oh, it's a little weird. It's because we have cameras rolling. It's a little, it takes a little time to get used to. But in general, I always wanted to be me, and I wanted to just be authentic. And I thought if I did that, then, I'm safe. And that's the mentality I went in with. And, Danya was like super excited about it as well. Initially she came on as a +1, just as like my spouse on the show. And then, she got a bigger role, and she, kind of developed her own character on the show as well. And and then went in season 1, and then season 2 came, and then season 3.
Nice. After 3 seasons, how happy are you being on Dubai Bling? Would you be interested in season 4, or you didn't think of it yet?
Honestly, it's not for me. We had a 3 contract deal, and I did that, and just to finish up what we started. But it's not really what I enjoy doing. And of course, it has a lot of benefits that a lot of people see with a successful show like that. But it doesn't really resonate well with me and who I am and what I want to do and what I believe in and what my beliefs are.
Did your beliefs change, or it's not you from the beginning, but you wanted to give a shot, just like you wanted to try?
I didn't know. When I first went in, I didn't know what to expect. And, when I went in there, I saw a lot of things, and it takes time for you to realize anything. So it took a little time. I went in there. I was a little reluctant at one point, and then, still continued. And now it's done, and, got to look at it as an experience, as something I did in my life, and, move on. But for me, I don't think for sure not going to do season 4. I mean, I know they say never, but, at this point in time, like, I've kind of like turned that chapter in my life.
Interesting. If also I may ask, who would you consider a friend from the cast? Except your wife. We know Danya is there. So beside Danya, who's your favorite, or who would be your friend? Just give me one name.
Tough.
What? Okay, who's your favorite character in the show? Not you for sure. Not Dania for
You
sure.
know what I was like myself. Who's my favorite character? I mean, this season.
3 seasons.
All
Don't
three.
give me one season. Throughout the 3 seasons, who's your favorite?
Yeah. No, there are people, you know, like Lujain Amran, obviously, you know, she's always been super kind, like, you know,
I love
great
Lujain.
moments. She's great. Farhana's actually always been a great friend.
She's sweet.
She's super sweet, got a great heart.
Okay, that's it. I'm fine with
Yeah,
names.
okay, good.
I'm fine with 2 names. Oh my God, your
And then-
body language.
Like,
It's like...
Stop asking me names. And also, I don't want to comment yet because it's a little early, you know,
It's
off
okay.
the
Yeah,
record.
I
But
get you, yeah.
Joanna also brought a lot of like heat to the show as well. So,
We're broadcasting the episode after the show, a month after the
but
show.
I don't
so
know
it's
what it's
fine.
gonna look like. That's why. But as you know, Joanna, I think, like it really works with her in reality TV. You know,
Yeah.
she just comes out and just says it how it is.
It's her personality.
It's her
even
personality,
reality.
yeah. Good for TV.
Yeah. How much they stage reality shows? I'm not talking about Dubai Bling
Yeah.
specifically. You watched lots of reality shows, but getting into reality show, how much is it staged? Like, if I'm gonna give you like out of 10?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, look, it's not staged.
Scripted,
It's not.
produced?
I mean, it's, you know, the show's it's an unscripted show.
Mhm.
It's obviously it's produced and it's edited and it's, you know, it's got an executive producer, a director,
sure,
and a
yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
And then you have us, the cast, and you know, we go on there and we sit in a room, and then one thing leads to the other, and then no one knows where. Well, we don't know where it goes.
So it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
I
Is
said
that
it.
what you're saying? Is that what
Yeah,
you think?
yes. Okay, fine.
50-50 is your answer?
Let's move on. When did you decide to love yourself, Marwan?
I always remind myself to love myself, you know, because I think we forget sometimes, and sometimes life can take you off the path and you forget, but I always have to remind myself, and it's a practice. Like I always say, like, you know, the captain of the plane, anytime you go into the cockpit, he's got a book out and he's like looking at his notes, and
Yeah.
he knows how to fly the plane, of course, right? For sure. But he still has to remind himself about what to do just in case to not make mistakes. And I feel like that's the same thing as well. In loving yourself and in gratitude and being grateful and, you know, practicing oneness and grounding and all of those things, you have to remind yourself. I actually stuck these 20 affirmations on my bathroom window. I've memorized them now, but just to remind myself in case one day I forget, you know, I just go there and boom, I just read them.
What are they?
And one of them is actually to
No,
let us-
wait, I want to hear all
so
of them.
it's I have an abundance of energy. I'm free of pain. Today's my day. Today I'll change my life. I'm strong. I'm beautiful. I am love. Unlimited energy will find me today. Today I'm a magnet for ideas. I'll be a giver of love today. The sunshine fills me with confidence. Whatever challenges come my way, I can overcome them. Today I'll learn and grow. I'll be a better person today. I'll help someone today. I love who I see in the mirror. Success is here for me to find. I messed up the end.
Do you have...
I have
where... enough?
Where did I?
It's okay.
I like have.
We got
anyway,
17. It's enough.
And the last part says, and I'll be fearless today. And I usually like bang my chest like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You have a move.
I have a move too. Yeah.
What does it show me?
It's gonna mess the mic up. It's like.
That's nice. I have one too, but I cannot do it here.
Why?
No.
Show me.
I
No.
have to stand up. No.
I want to see it now.
After off camera. Interesting. You went through a healing journey, let me say.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a tough decision to start healing from things that you thought they're serving you, but apparently they were not serving you.
Yeah.
How did you decide to take this path?
It came very naturally for me, and you know, when I went on my healing journey and when I started realizing all these things, it was just very much like, yes, you know, they were in the back of my mind, my own thoughts, just kind of like, you know, understanding a lot better. And yeah, one of the hardest things is like letting go of things that do not serve you. And I almost immediately came back and changed everything around, and you know, and honestly, unconsciously or maybe subconsciously, I was like, staff around me were leaving, like people who were working for my cafe and people who were working at my barbershop, employees I've had for 13 and 15 years betraying me finding out about it. And then I was sitting there one day and thinking, I'm like, what's going on? I had to let go of so many things and like close one of the locations and move somewhere else. And then I'm like, I asked for it, right? Let go of everything that does not serve you. And this sometimes it comes at a very it comes to you in a very difficult way to understand, like the guy who's been cutting your hair for like 15 years is now betraying you by, for whatever reason, or, the employee you've trusted so much and you put everything in their name, gave them full right to do whatever they want, has done something like betrays you. And you start looking at betrayal a lot more deeply, because I think we give a lot of people passes and we let them off and we say, maybe they'll change or maybe they'll be better. But, God gives you signs all the time. So it's up to you whether you take it or not. So, and I just continue living my life like that all the time. When it comes to everything, it's either I feel it, it's a hell yes. I posted, I think, an Instagram story about it. It's either a hell yes or it's an F no from now on, There's no like, maybe, I don't know,
It's either white or black, no gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe definitely not a no. It's either a yes for sure, or it's not right now.
Yeah, not right now.
Not right now. Until I know 100%.
Or it's not going to serve me right now, so I don't need it in my life. It's not going to add to me. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, like, it came at a good time, I've been on this like healing journey for a long time. I kind of dip in and out. What we do is we usually resort to going to look for healing or alternative medicine and meditation and things like that in times of need, when something really bad happens, whether it's health or family or traumas or anything like that. And I've always dipped in and out for a long time. My name is DJ.Bliss. There's been, this word's been like a pretty prominent word for me for many, many years. And I've always been that person, like, trying to give like good energy. When I DJ, I always tell people, like, I like to make people feel blissful, whether I'm in the room, whether I'm at a show, in the music that I make, or just in life. It's just the best feeling to have. So it's always kind of been my calling, but dipped in and out whenever I needed it. And I'm trying to just adapt it more to my daily life by putting things like my daily affirmations on my window, by practicing meditation, by finding time for myself, and just by really just making better decisions for things that serve me.
Nice. It's time to go into your inner self.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
All right. Let me sip some water.
Sure.
Let me get some of this.
This is not bukhur. Okay, close your eyes. And I want you to focus on your breath. Nose to nose. With every exhale, focus on a muscle. So let your eyelid muscles relax. Your ear muscles relax. Relax your chin, neck, shoulders, upper body, lower body. And allow your unconscious mind to take control. Trust your unconscious mind and connect with your heart. Imagine yourself in an empty space. There is nothing but the void. In any shape or color, you see it as the right way to see it. And you're walking on a path. It's either running, walking, flying. Anyway is the right way. And you suddenly stop. And you see a mirror. And your reflection is your inner child. Marwan. On his early days. Look at him in the eye and only ask him one question. You may tell him, "Hi, how are you? I am you. I came from the future. And I only have one question for you. What is life about?" Get the answer. And say goodbye. And tell him I might see you later on. but it's time to say goodbye. Move on to another mirror where you see yourself as a 5-year-old kid and repeat the scenario. Tell him, hi, I am Marwan. I came from the future and I love you and I accept you the way you are. And I have one question. What is life about? When you hear the answer, you may hug him. And any way you want to say goodbye is the right way. Ask him to leave. And recall Marwan when he was a teenager, maybe 15, 16 years old. Look at him eye to eye and tell him, this is Marwan from the future. This is the best version of you coming to you to ask you one question. What is life about? And when you hear the answer, hug him and tell him, I love you and I forgive you. Do you forgive me? When he forgives you and he tells you, I love you too, he will disappear. And Marwan, and 25 years old, will appear in the same mirror. And he may ask you the question. He will tell you, hello, it's me. I am you from the past. I love you, and I accept you, and I forgive you. And now it's your turn to say, what is life about? When he hears the answer, tell him thank you. I may visit you again. And ask him to disappear. Try to erase the mirror. Whenever you're ready, try to come back to the studio. Feel the studio. Open your eyes.
Oof. Wow. Took me deep.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
I don't usually go that deep.
I
It's,
always take the guests so
it's hard for me to connect and, these kind of like meditations or like walking through, but this one really, I was gone.
I'm so glad.
And considering like the cameras are rolling, I'm like usually a little conscious, but I was just like, let's just go with it.
I try to create a safe space.
Beautiful.
Thank you. If I can ask you, what was the highlight of this? I'm not going to call it a meditation, whatever we did. What is the highlight of it? What's the main thing that came to your mind when you asked them what's life about? What did you hear from them?
Well, from my younger selves, I heard, what was the age of the first one that you said? I remember the 5-year-old told me, just have fun.
Nice.
It was like my son Zayed's almost the same age. He's 6, and he's just like wants to have fun and like just, that's what life is about. And he's just like, just have fun.
Mm.
And then the 15-year-old was almost the same thing. It was, what did he say? He said, just have a good time, it was just happy. I remember like my 15-year-old self, I was playing the guitar and I have this picture of me, I'm holding a guitar and wearing this like football jersey, like connected with that person right away. It was the same thing. And then 25 was the next one. 25 was different. 15 to 25 is,
Mm-hmm.
a lot happened.
What happened?
I think a lot of
You develop a different
things
personality.
in life, yeah. You think about
life from a
15 to
different
25,
way.
you're talking about graduated from high school,
100%.
went to university, got your first job. You turn from a boy to a man from
True.
15 to 25.
That's why I asked the 25 years old to ask you, what is life about?
Yeah.
As Marwan, what is life about, Marwan?
Yeah. I mean, I think life is just about a collection of experiences and moments that you go through,
Mm-hmm.
and almost everything that happens in your life is a little patch of a fabric that creates your life. And
Wow.
yeah, I really believe in like everything happens for a reason and everything
Nice.
is super important. And it's been my story, you know, like I've done so much and so many things. And a lot of times I used to say, man, I do too much, I need to do less, but I don't regret it at all. Like I'm so glad.
Nice.
And it just, you know, it's made me the person who I am today. It's and I'm so grateful for it. The good times, the bad times, the hard times, all of it.
Do you
Really,
regret any bad experience you went through back in days?
I don't regret anything, honestly. You know, I never play like the regret game. I never, you know, I wish, you know, what if? I really just don't do it because it's, you know, what ifs are for what ifs. It's not gonna change, especially a what if from the past, right?
Mm.
Not what if, you know, we go to Vegas tomorrow. That's a different what if. But you know, what
I'm
if?
down if you go to Vegas tomorrow.
Down. Let's go. We're taking this with us. Me and you will be meditating in the middle of
Trust me, I
the
would do it.
strip in Vegas. Yeah, so what ifs are just like very weird. I really just have no regrets. And as difficult as every experience has been, and you know, there's been a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. You know, not everything you see in life is what you see on social media and on TV
100%.
and you know what you hear.
What's the toughest year you lived?
The toughest year I've lived. Wow. I don't know. To put it in order, I wouldn't know. I really look past tough times and not have it in my conscious of you know, 2020 X was a
Mm-hmm.
you know, really tough year.
Mm-hmm.
No, every year is tough. Every year is good. Every year has its ups. Every year has its downs. And let's move on and make it better for the next year, I think.
What's the best year you had in your life so far?
Oh, that's a good one too. Honestly, bro, like I'm so grateful for like things that have happened in my life, and I'm able to be sitting here right now, like talking about what I've done in my life, you know, at the position that I'm at. It's really just all of it. Like even right now, I must be doing something right that we're sitting here and doing this podcast, or I'm playing at a festival in Romania last year, and it's every year. Alhamdulillah, you know, knock on wood. I'm so it's happening to me constantly, and it's, you know, when you were going through the bad stuff, and I kept like looking at a year or something, I'm like, yo, but that happened. I'm like, yeah, but this also happened, you
No,
know,
that's
and then
nice.
it's like,
you try to find the balance.
yeah.
Because everything happens for a reason, as you said earlier, and for whatever negative happened, something positive happened. Even the positives are more majority of the time.
For sure, yeah, 100%. I mean, there's been great times. The birth of my first kid, for example, you know, my other kid, and like there's so many good memories. So I always like to like look at those things and
nice.
And like focus on them more, if you would like.
Yeah, we don't have now that you have 3 kids.
Yeah,
but tell me the difference between having 2 kids and then you post for a while, for a few years, and now you have a newborn as well. So how did it feel when Daniel told you I'm pregnant?
It was like, man, what do I need to buy? Like, what do those big cars? I need to buy a Suburban now. It was, I don't know. We kind of like had this picture of our family being like the 4 of us. And then, you know, when we heard the news, I mean, first of all, I love kids, super hands-on. So, you know, I was super happy about it. But suddenly, like, really things changed, because you go from just like, you know, we traveled to Japan 2 years ago. It was the 4 of us. And, you know, wherever we went in the car and everything, like really a lot of things change. But it's a blessing, you know. You know, the 3rd one's a girl as well. My first one is a boy, 2nd one's a girl, 3rd one's a girl as well. And when we did our baby reveal, Daniel's like, yo, why did you have a tear in your eye? I'm like, because have you seen like what our daughter does to me at home? I'm like, now we have another girl. And that was it. But it's a beautiful thing, you know. And because we had a boy and a girl, I was like, you know, 3rd one, like, it could be either. But it's, you know, and I'm so grateful. It's such a beautiful experience.
Alhamdulillah. If we put family aside, music aside, what else makes you so happy and you enjoy doing it?
Man, you took out two. You did good there, huh? Took out music and the family. I like doing a lot of like chilled nature stuff now, to be honest with you.
That's nice.
I love disconnecting and finding the time. And I used to like if the tree was like dropping too many leaves or the flower was messy, I'm like, let's just get rid of it. And I always used to like love clean, neat like houses. And now I'm like the total opposite. On the side of my house, there's like a full fruit, like a whole bunch of fruit trees, and I'm planting like all these vegetables, and I've put trees up everywhere. And like camping in the desert here is like one of the most beautiful things being out at
especially
night.
in Al-Qudra. I love that. I love it.
Beautiful, right? Yeah. The place we went to in Ras Al Khaimah at that event, how beautiful was it, right?
It was really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
What changed, if I may ask? What changed? I mean,
I never experienced it, Never experienced. Just was too busy for that kind of stuff. Yeah, my brother-in-law took me to the desert like 3 years ago. He's like, we're gonna sleep there. I'm like, in the desert. When we were kids, my mom and my cousins used to take us to the mountains all the time in Fujairah and Dade and all those places, like middle of nowhere back in those. There was no Google Maps or nothing, and there was like water coming from the mountains, and we used to do a lot of that. And then, kind of like when I graduated from school and went to university.
Yeah, this is the period of time where you stop going out.
Forgot about doing that stuff, and then I started DJing and working, and most of my stuff has always been on the weekend, so I didn't have time to go do a lot of that stuff. So I think I just forgot about it, and I just love it. Like I remember as a kid, like my cousin taking me up the mountains, and we were looking for like different animals and insects, and showing me all these cool things, and it's beautiful. And disconnection is the best thing. We're too connected right now, in our phones, in our TVs, and in just life.
We're actually disconnected. We're not connected.
We're disconnected because we're connected, but we need to disconnect.
To connect.
You get, yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah, we have to disconnect to connect.
Interesting. What's missing in your life right now, if I may ask as well?
Time. Time is a difficult one.
Time management.
Yeah.
I mean, I get you. You have 3 kids, mashallah. I mean, you have a family, you have a career, you have your family as well.
Yeah, 3 kids, a couple of businesses. I also took over my dad's business. He had a stroke 3 years ago, and he couldn't continue the business. And I was the closest one to his business. So I had to take over this whole toy business and now sell camels to all different parts of the world.
You sell camels?
Toy camels.
Toy camels.
Toy camels.
Okay, yeah.
There's that. The idea of what my dad is going through as well with his memory loss, and
it is tough. Yeah.
3 kids at home, like you said. The business, my own career, trying to do my own music, and then you have a show. Like the show takes up a lot of time as well. So time is the only thing we don't get back, and it's the most valuable currency in the world, I think. And that's what I think I like doing. I like just getting time and finding space to just disconnect and just feel the time pass.
Nice. If life is an emotion, what emotion would it be to you?
If life was an emotion, I would say love, honestly. Life is love. And the more we connect to life and the planet and just go back to, the way life is supposed to be, you'll find that at the end it's all...
love equals to happiness.
Yeah.
Okay. What about color?
What color?
Yeah.
Life. What color would life be? You're saying the color of the heart? White.
Nice. What
peaceful.
Shape? What shape would it give you? Would you give the life?
I'm getting like the heart shape, honestly.
Interesting.
I'm getting a nice...
Is it like the anatomy or the heart?
No, the heart. I don't know. Maybe I just put a heart on the Christmas tree with the kids yesterday. Is that playing mind games with me? But I always feel like that's where...
Wait, we didn't finish. I need a scent.
You need a what?
A scent.
Smell. A scent?
Yeah.
Oh.
Smell. What smell is life?
Something very natural, like woody, foresty smell.
Nice. What about touch? Like what texture would be?
think like a mixture. Maybe like a little soft, a little rough, you know, a little rough on the edges, but soft on the inside.
Nice. Interesting.
Life. Like a squishy ball, but not so squishy.
Yeah. Like the stress ball?
Yeah. But like a heart also, like a heart, like, do you know what I mean?
That's interesting.
A squishy shaped heart, a heart-shaped squishy ball.
You should produce this toy and
I
sell it
should, right?
with your dad business.
Coming soon to a store near you. And just life.
That's nice. Interesting.
Do you usually get answers like that, or?
No, every person has a different answer.
Yeah.
I had guests where they said pink, yellow sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, or no color. I don't see color. And sometimes they cannot find a shape to it.
Yeah.
It depends. And it has lots of meanings, but I'll keep it to you to think of it.
You won't tell me?
I don't have to tell you because it's inside you. You know what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's how we perceive life.
Yeah.
So if you ask a different person, let's say someone who's more suffering inside, internal problems, internal issues,
They'll be like black box.
I don't think they will see white. Yeah.
Mm.
Or they can't see colors sometimes. It
Really?
depends. Because using your senses to create a memory or an image or something, it gives it life.
Got
So
it.
yeah, you connect yourself more as well when you involve senses, especially the 5 senses, like even the 3 or 4 or 5. You just give the things more life, more reality,
Yeah.
and you feel them and you connect with them more. It's the same thing when they tell you connect to the now.
Yeah.
How do you connect to the now, for example? You tell me.
I would say you'd ground yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd same, get into meditative state, close your eyes, and just
Exactly.
you really have to be present right here, right now, and just know everything what's in the room where you are, and just
True. And what helps is like to touch something, to feel something that you're, for example, I don't know, your jacket, the chair. Try to smell the scent in the room, even if there is nothing. Focus on your breath. Focus on something present.
Yeah.
So you train your brain not to be somewhere else, because we sit with each other, we have a conversation, and I'm somewhere else, or you're somewhere else. You're thinking of things that you have to do, and you're not supposed to think about them because they didn't happen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You basically touch something, smell something, taste something, and then
feel something, look at something. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went really deep today, huh?
You are a deep person, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a long time we've known each other, and never have we had a conversation this
Couple
deep.
of years.
But I'm glad that we.
I think I met you first time I met you when you were in Dubai One TV.
Probably,
Was it 10 years ago?
About,
Yeah.
about 10 years ago.
We were kids back then.
Yeah. We still are. Kids in our heart.
Okay, Marwan. I still have lots of questions, trust me.
Let's go. I've got all day. Yeah.
So when was the last time you really cried from your heart and you said, I don't care if I'm a man or not, I'm just a human being.
Yeah.
And I'm crying right now and I'm embracing the emotion.
Yeah. All the time. Honestly. Whenever I feel like crying, I'll cry. Like, I don't hold back. And I do, and you know, I'm a sensitive person. I'll cry, like, you know, in sad times, and you know, a sad story can make me cry right away.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't mind. I try not to do it in front of my kids unless, you know, it's necessary, because then I have to explain to them why and whatnot.
Smart.
Not that I'm trying to hide emotions from them, because if there is something I would be sad about that they are aware of one day, I would be, you know, I would do it in front of them as well. But I've cried on TV. I've cried, you know, around friends, like, you know, in front of my family. Like, I don't see a problem with it all. I don't think it makes you less of a man. I don't think it makes you more human, actually. It just shows that you're in touch with your emotions, and that's perfectly fine.
Great. What's your biggest fear in life?
I don't have none, you know. I don't have any fears. I've been asked this question a lot, and I always look at like material things or like certain scenarios, or go deep and try and find out what really am I scared of. Not, you know, I'm scared of like losing, you know, my family. like my parents, getting older, that kind of situation. But it's part of life. I'm learning to try and understand it better and just be more connected to it, because it's part of life, Everyone has their time. They're here and they go, whether it's them, me, and moving on. And I hope that we're here living a healthy, happy life while we're here together.
Did you ever meet your ego?
All the time. My ego's fought with me, slapped me in the face. I've beat it up. I've been through ups and downs. My ego's just always been by my side. But I really believe I've tamed the beast as much as I can, and time helps with that. When you're a certain point in your life and you're young, wild, and reckless, and there's a lot going on, it's hard to sit down and understand your ego or your shadows or any of those things. But yeah, I've been through it all, and had some deep conversations with myself about it. And again, same thing. It's taught me a lot of things in my life. I'm grateful for my ego and the lessons that it's taught me, the situations it put me in, and sometimes also situations it got me out of, to be honest with you. It just played an important role in my life as my teacher, as my student, as my friend, and sometimes even as my enemy.
Interesting. So you know where and when to use your ego.
Now, yes. As an adult now, yes. I think once you learn how to be very humble and you can humble your ego, I think it could find a good place. I think, if you're not humble and you let your ego take over, that could be the problem. But again, situation to situation. But being in the industry that, we're in, ego is knocking on your door all the time. And not only your own, there's other people's egos that you have to deal with. And sometimes you think dealing with other people's egos with your ego is the answer, but it's not always the right way.
True.
Do
you deal with people as if you are in their shoes, or no, you give every person what they deserve? Did you get the question, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't usually put myself in other people's shoes. I understand, or I try to understand what could have happened and is happening, but it's hard for me to step into your shoes. It's a very difficult question. I'd have to live all your life, experienced all your traumas, all your goodness, know what you felt like this morning, what you ate, and what you were thinking right now for me to get into your shoes right now. But I can try to understand, So I can only really be in my own shoes and understand the situation over here right now. But I would take the other one, which was, what was the other one?
Give everyone what they deserve.
Give everyone what they deserve. Yeah.
If there is one person who's me right now, just imagine me, this person.
Yeah.
From the cast of Dubai Bling.
Yeah.
That you owe an apology. Who would that person be?
Probably myself.
Yourself.
Yeah.
Why? So wait. Don't explain. Wait. Here, where are you? Use my mirror. Where is it? There you go.
I put the light on. I need some light over here too.
Okay. Now look at yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, we have to redo the whole interview. I wore the wrong cap.
Really?
All right. What am I doing?
You're apologizing to yourself.
Marwan, I am sorry. I am sorry that I let I let my emotions get the best
look at the mirror.
It's hard to...
No, look at the mirror.
So I'm apologizing to myself. All right, so Marwan, I am sorry for... How do I explain this? It's so hard.
Why it's so hard?
Because I owe an apology to myself, and I feel like myself is all like... But let me tell you what I mean. So the reason why I think I owe an apology for myself is I think I was too hard on myself.
Talk to the mirror.
Yeah. I owe you an apology because I think I was too hard on myself. And it was just something I was going through at that time. And in hindsight, I've learned the lesson and moved on from it. And I hope you forgive me. Love you.
See, it's easy.
It was a little, yeah.
You were hesitant.
Yeah, I was like, how do I do this? Is he going to talk back to me?
Did it ever happen?
Because imagine me on the other side in the mirror. I'd be like, bro, it's fine. It's totally cool. What I was trying to say is that I think I was a little too hard on myself, with everything that happened on the show. And that's because I wasn't prepared,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't prepared. I wasn't educated enough. I didn't have people around me who understood or who have done this before. I didn't have peers. I didn't have a role model. I didn't have someone to look up to. I didn't have good legal advice. I didn't have a good team that was solid around me to go through this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, it kind of like all came back to me, and I took it in a very difficult way, and a lot of, it just bothered me a lot. And I should have just really just looked at it like what it is.
Did you blame yourself?
It's just a show. I didn't sit down and blame myself. I like to think I was a grown man, and I made a decision about it, and I'm living with my decision. And honestly, I don't think I would go back and say I wish I never did it. I wouldn't. I told you I don't go back and what if and all that.
Nice.
But I was very hard on myself, and for good reason, by the way. You really have to be tough-skinned to go through the outcome of the show. And I'm talking more like about people's perception and what happens after a show comes out. Not so much the show. The show on its own was, a lot. And then there's also
the feedback.
Yeah. Of the biggest show that ever came out of the Middle East on Netflix. Obviously you have a lot of people from around the world who are saying a lot of things, whether it's blogs, vlogs, people, someone sitting in their room somewhere in some city, in some country, who has a comment to say, and it just starts getting to you. Then they start talking about you, and they start talking about your friends, and they talk about your family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made it hard, because, my wife is on the show as well. And also, my kids were on the show too. And people don't understand that I'm out here with my family. I have like my nieces and my cousins, and even
but
my
also
mom.
People would say it's your choice.
Yeah, it is my choice to do that. You mean to do the show?
Yeah, to expose your family to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was my choice.
Mm.
It was my choice to do, and again, same thing. I wasn't prepared. I wasn't told. I wasn't educated enough on the outcome,
Mm-hmm.
and have the resources to be able to get through this. It's like someone putting you out in a thunderstorm with, fanila and your shorts, and like, all right, it's going to be sunny tomorrow, though, and we're going to have
savages.
Yeah, what do? You stand out in the rain until the shower comes.
Keep fighting.
No one told you, told you that it was going to be this way, and I went through some tough times, especially last year. Last year was pretty tough for me, all the backlash of the show, and how I felt, and, how I was portrayed. So it was a little difficult, and then it became a little bit more difficult, honestly, when my own friends and family were asking me if I was okay, and they didn't like certain things. And then I'm like, okay, maybe only I see it. Then I'm like, no, it's pretty clear. Everyone's seeing it. And,
Mm-hmm.
When my little niece, who's like 9 years old, comes to me and says that, I don't like what people are saying about you or something like that, that hurts me more.
What did they say back then?
I don't even know what she saw, I didn't even ask her, to be honest with you.
Okay.
But I told her, I remember replying to her and saying, hey, I'm smiling, I'm happy, and you're my niece, and if your friends are watching me on a TV screen, that's pretty cool, no? And then she just started laughing, and I just kind of like, made a fun moment out of it for her, and made it seem like, and that's the attitude I like to have. But it hurts at that time, if someone boom, hits you and you don't know what to do with it.
You go through an emotional roller coaster with
Big
the show.
time.
With the,
Yeah, big time.
How is your relationship now with Kris Fade?
We've never had a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've never had a relationship. And I was trying to explain, I've never really spoken about it ever, and I didn't want to, but I feel like, you know, people are expecting a little bit of an explanation, because also that was like a 2-hour conversation that you saw in 5 minutes. And it's a 12-year story.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for anyone to really understand what was going on. And I think what people don't know is I was trying to resolve it. And I was really just trying to put it behind it. He could have just really just shaken my hand and said, hey, you know, it's really nothing. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
And if there was, it's cool. Or he could have said, yes, well, there was this thing that, you know, you did. And this is a way I feel about it. I mean, I put on the table when I went out and did that. They could have said anything back.
You think people would believe a true person or a genuine person more, or someone who's wearing a persona? Who would they believe more? Do people really like to hear what they want to hear, or they like to hear the reality, the truth?
It's the problem is that they don't know. They don't know which one is the reality,
But
right?
they can feel it. They can feel if this person is being genuine or this person is not genuine. Don't you think?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't get like the feedback from me. It wasn't everyone didn't come to me and said, you know, a lot of people did say, hey, I really felt, you know, strongly about what you said. And it was true. It was facts. Again, like there's a lot of things we couldn't talk about it for legal purposes, and, you know, it was taken out. But it's a true story. I mean, just sit down, look me in the eye and tell me, you know, what's going on, and let's put it behind us if it really is something. And if it's not, just say it was nothing and move on. But if you don't want to talk about it and act like, you know.
Did you forgive him?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not about really just forgiving him, you know. It was for me. It was more of a let go for me, like to get it off my chest. And I think I had to do it, you know.
Remind me, you're a Capricorn?
No.
What are you?
I am a Gemini.
You're a Gemini.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's even worse.
Way
emotional.
Thank you for sugarcoating it.
Yeah, Geminis are so emotional, but they are so true to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had to be truthful, because there could be another person out there who's going through the same thing, right? And feels like, you know, someone's really like blackballing them from the industry and doing all that. And it was just for me to show someone that, look, it could take 12 years, but the table can turn, you know, and always speak your truth and don't worry about what happens next. I mean, I'm not the one that's going to try and act like everything's cool when you're not doing things that are uncool behind the scenes. Like, I would rather we're just not friends. Yeah. But don't mess with
Facts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Got it.
Don't mess with facts, and just be honest about it. And there was a lot of others. Again, like I don't want to go into the whole story, but it's true story. It's been going on for 12 years. I hit him up with a lot of facts and just denied it, and, you know, at the end just walked off. And then I remember on the last episode where we had the scene for the Ramadan scene at Alhaji Imran's event, he just came and said hi. When he walked past me, he said hi. I'm like, it's weird, you know, considering that just happened, and then just look past it and like nothing happened. But for me, I got everything I ever wanted to tell him. Forget about the show, because you saw 5 minutes of it. Like, it was a good 1 hour to 2 hour of filming, and I said everything I had to say, and hopefully it's going to be a lesson for someone else, and more importantly, a lesson for my kids who will watch that show one day and know that their father speaks his truth and like stands up for himself, because that's what I want to teach them. And the same thing about season 3 as well. You know, everything you saw over there, a lot of it was me embracing my truth and just being honest, and just enough is enough. Like,
even in the most traumatic scenes.
Even in the most traumatic scenes, for sure. It's really that traumatic scene that you saw, a lot of it had to do with my kids, actually. It had everything to do with my kids. About my newborn baby.
Family is a red line.
Yeah, you don't mess with my family, you know? I remember looking back at it and like thinking like, what just happened? And then when I really reconnect, I'm like, this is for my kids. Like, what kind of man would I be if I didn't stand up for myself and I let somebody, treat me that way? Like, what lesson am I really teaching my kids? No, stand up for yourself. Speak your truth. Speak with words, obviously. Don't raise your voice, raise your vibration, and use your voice. And it's something which I've learned, not too long, or not very recently, but to speak my truth and speak my voice and just be honest. And that was part of what it was, and being honest and speaking your truth sometimes can be a rocky road.
Do you still have, or do you still hold any bad emotion towards that scene?
It's a difficult scene for me to watch and relive and re-experience. I've never been in a fight in my life. I've never, not once, my whole life. So, to be at this part of my life, to experience that for the first time was pretty traumatic.
I mean, for me, first time I've ever seen you shouting was in Dubai Bling, to be honest. I've known you for years.
Yeah, well,
Sorry, I'm being honest.
You haven't been to one of my shows then, because I'm shouting on the mic all the time.
No, that's different. It's different.
Yeah.
Shouting in a show is different than shouting in a reality show.
But like I said, it's me.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I do have to shout, and it's the reality of what it is.
What did you learn from that scene?
What I learned from that scene is to always trust my gut instincts and my judgment, and surround myself with like-minded people who I get and really connect with, rather than be in a place where you don't belong. Even though it might feel like it's working, it looks good, and all of that stuff, right? This nice bouquet of flowers, like, you could put a couple of bad flowers in there, it could ruin the whole bouquet. So I always think that the lesson that needed to be learned was I should have picked up on the signs earlier, should have not gotten myself into that situation and not made better decisions. And not that I can go back and do that, but at least moving forward, I can make better decisions.
Nice. How do you see the future? When you think of the future?
I think the future is bright. I always have that mentality.
Still with the white color.
Still with the white color. I think the future is always bright, and it's just me. When things are down, or even when things are good, you can ask anyone. I'm always like, let's go do more. When things are down, like, let's get better. Let's, tomorrow's a new day. And when things are good, it's like, I'm in a rush to like go and get more done. And I think I think with that kind of mentality, you plant the seed of like positive affirmations and great things happening for you in the future.
Nice. Let's go to the future. Close your eyes.
Are we going?
Yeah.
Here we go. Should have known it was a trick question. You're like, what do you think of the future? I'm like, where are we going now?
So close your eyes. Focus on your breath. With every exhale, try to relax your body more and more. Relax your shoulders. Relax your upper body, lower body. And just go to the void. Go to the field. And fly to the future straight away, to a big, massive wedding where you see all your family, all your friends, and you're walking into this wedding fully on, dressed, tuxedo, kandora, any way you see it is the right way. And you have a friend who would grab you from your hand and tell you, come, let me say hi to the groom. And you're walking towards the groom. Notice the emotions. When you reach the groom, you look into his eyes. It's your son, Zayed. your son's wedding, with all the emotions you're getting now, the happy emotions, put some words into the right place and think of what you would love to tell Zayed on his wedding, and you can say it loudly.
Zayed, it's a beautiful day, and I'm so grateful that you have found your life partner. And I hope all of your days are beautiful from here on out together, and I hope you really live and love wholeheartedly. And remember to be patient, and don't forget to have fun. I love you.
And he loves you too. You can open your eyes. I usually try to take people back to the room, but you're an expert in this. You understand it. Did you ever imagine his wedding? Did you ever see him as a groom?
No, never. And when I was when we were approaching the groom, I was like,
whose wedding is this?
Who's gonna turn around?
Am I getting married?
Yeah,
Second
I'm
wife? Second wife?
Yeah. I was like, whose wedding? And then when the faces were turning, I see a lot of my friends are not married. I'm like, I hope he's going to tell me, who do you see? And maybe I wish some luck on one of my friends. And then when he said Zayed, immediately I saw his head turn around.
But did you see him in that age?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
And he was pretty young.
So early marriage.
It looked like he was pretty young, in maybe like mid-20s maybe, and super happy, beautiful wedding outside. It was like outdoor and looked like an island or something like that.
Remember to invite me.
Yeah, of course. Done. I mean, you organized it.
And your unconscious organized
yeah.
it.
And it was beautiful. I can really feel that he was happy, and he had found like a good partner, and that's what I really hope for him, you know?
Inshallah.
Because, you know, finding a good life partner to be with for the rest of your life.
Trust me, it's so tough. It's so hard.
Yeah, I think it gets harder and harder this day and age, you know?
Yeah, true.
I was telling you, literally, I have like, you know, 3 or 4 of my best friends, none of them married. I'm like, what are you guys doing? It's 5 friends. 5.
You're lucky that Danya is fine with you hanging out with them.
I can't anymore. Like I told him, I'm like, yo guys, if we're gonna hang out, you need to get married now.
If I ask you to thank only one person in your life.
Just to what?
To thank one person in your life, who would it be? And what would you tell him or her?
I would thank myself.
Nice.
I know I've probably repeated this answer a couple of times or maybe hinted at it, but I've really I've been one to learn from people, situation, things, life, and all of that. But you know, I always felt like I had to get through things by myself. Yet super grateful for all the knowledge, wisdom, and experiences that life has given me to be able to go through it. Of course, with help from people and, you know, and things like that. But, you know, had to get through some of the hardest, toughest, good, bad times by myself, and not alone, not lonely, but had to go and do it myself, whether it was a gig that was tough to get to or, you know, a tough time, an amazing time. And, you know, it was always, that's what I always remember. And of course, you know, to thank my mom as well. You know, if I took myself out, I would say my mom for sure. You know, the fact that she gave birth to me, I have a super deep appreciation for her. Raising 5 kids after having 3, I like really get it. Being a hands-on dad, and, you know, my dad was old school. He wasn't really that hands-on. And my mom was the one who picked us up from school and dropped us off and made it to, you know, the parent-teacher meetings most of the time. And my dad was busy working. She was cooking lunch, dinner, breakfast for us and packing our lunch boxes for us, got us through all these times. And yeah, you know, my mom, she's the queen of my heart.
That's nice.
And I think that as a parent now, like I appreciate her even more. And that's me as a father. When my mom's favorite line is, you would never understand unless you had the heart of a mother.
Mm.
And, you know, the only closest thing I can feel to that is the heart of a parent as a father. But for sure, like seeing 5 kids that you carried and birthed naturally, without a lot of help. Yeah, I think, you know, I got to thank her deeply.
Bless her.
Thank you.
My last question is, after you die, what would you like people to remember you for?
You know, I want people to remember me for you know, who I was and what I did career-wise on one side,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but, you know, I also want to leave a legacy that has contributed to change in some way or form, because it's all good and well, like if I was a painter and I painted this beautiful artwork and, you know, here you go. But like my mentality now is a little bit different to you know, what if I taught like 1,000 people to paint,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can create like, you know, out of those 1,000 people, they're all going to have kids and they taught their kids or taught someone else, not just their kids.
Passing knowledge.
Passing knowledge, I think it's very important. And, you know, we live in and I think it's maybe a parent mentality as well. Like we live in an era where there's so much junk in our food. There's so much junk on our screens. There's so much going on around the world and all of these things. Knowledge is key, and good knowledge, you know, and this could apply to really just anything. Knowledge of life. I want to like openly talk about things that I've been through in my life, you know, like what we were talking about earlier, like talk about crying, talk about mental health, and talk about healing, and talk about down times and up times, talk about confrontation and actually do it. And to, you know, maybe there's a kid at home sitting down who's, you know, always wanted to confront someone and thought it's too late, but, you know, or here's a lesson. And it's those things as well.
True.
And with my music also to leave a legacy to make people feel good, because music is really such a medicine that, you know, you don't know about if used wisely.
Yeah.
And I know if you open Spotify, there's like tons of songs. The amount of songs that get released daily is so much. But if I can make music with a positive impact that's going to make you smile, have a good time, put your hands up in the air, or just listen to your car while you're driving, having a good time, you know, that's another positive impact too. And that's what I want to be remembered for, you know, somebody who had the positive effect. Because you could be here today and gone tomorrow, but if you didn't leave anything for people to talk about, there's really just going to be nothing there at all. True. And that would be a waste, you know. We have a responsibility as human beings, as adults, as parents, as brothers, as sisters, families, friends, even to contribute and to give back. It's not just about charity and donations and, you know, and all of that stuff. It's about using our time here on earth wisely to impact it in a positive way and give more love to this whole planet and all of the beings and stars, planets, suns, the moon, all of it, you know,
the universe,
go back to how it's supposed to be, which is back to our hearts and back to love.
True. Thank you.
Shukran. It was really beautiful. So we're not going to talk in Arabic on the
مع السلامة.